And we're live here in Nourish, Heal, and Thrive. I'm really excited. We have Courtney here, and I'm excited to hear everything she has to talk about, all her story. And let's just start off. So, Courtney, tell us a little bit about who you are, where you're from, and what you do.
Yeah, and so nice to finally meet you, Derek, and thanks for having me. And hello to everybody who's watching or who will watch later. I live outside of Salt Lake City, Utah, in a little, it's not so little anymore, a city called Harriman, and it's been a good place to live. I lived in Utah my whole life, honestly, but it's been a good place for now. But it's just getting so big. So many people moving here, it's crazy. Um, I have four kids, ages 17, 14, 11, and 5. So they're very busy. Um, I am a registered nurse. I work part-time as like a school type of nursing job. It's not like the school nurse though. I work for an agency that takes severely disabled um, kids, like just that go to school with like severe disabilities, like most of them all have tracheostomies and like G tubes. They're mostly all on wheelchairs. A lot of them need oxygen, some on ventilators, and some need medications throughout the day. So there's all the nurses in this agency, they take these kids and we do their nursing care and take care of them at school. So there's a lot of good benefits to like the school schedule, especially since I work in the same district that my kids go to school. So it's very nice for like for moms and to be able to be home. Downside is if a kid gets sick, then you don't go to work, but there's a lot of rewarding benefits to it. I am also a very new author. I just released a book on Amazon in mid-July called My Diamond Within here. It's about my journey that I have undergone with my health and experiences I've learned with nursing, with being a mom, and how to endure our challenges with the right mindset and how to find joy because life is hard for everyone. No one is exempt from going through hard times. They just change as we get older. As kids get older, I mean, like the parenting just changes as kids get older. I mean, work changes, life, things happen in life that are you don't expect, like a death or a job loss or a sudden illness. Like for me with my health, it was like I was diagnosed with an autoimmune disease, Hashimoto's, and I had to get my thyroid removed, and that happened in January 2023. And I also had a nodule that ended up being cancerous. So I now get to live the rest of my life on thyroid replacement hormone therapy, which is just two medications. So with that, have other pesky symptoms related to that. My life is pretty much like a roller coaster with my energy and my mood, and just with not living with a thyroid because it's yeah, I didn't realize how much the thyroid does and how much you need it. And the synthetic hormone isn't perfect, but I'm just grateful that there is a way to live without a thyroid, even though it's not perfect. So
Right.
that's kind of where I'm at right now. I mean, I've um, still working, still trying to take care of kids and take care of my health and improve that as best I can.
Yeah, so tell us a little bit more about your journey. You said you had your thyroid removed and you had Hashimoto's and like so what was kind of the down like the lowest moment and then what kind of brought you back up to this period that you're now serving other people?
I think the lowest point was when I didn't know what was happening. I was having all these pesky symptoms like food sensitivities, and my moods and my energy and would just be so out of whack. I mean, it was before I discovered that there was thyroid cancer. I didn't know what was happening. I tried so many different medical treatments, doctors, hormone replacement therapy, to try to feel better. I just it was just hard getting through each and every day when I just didn't know what was happening. was also challenging when I started back into nursing, started back into school as an adult. I never had a chance to finish school after high school, like because I had to work to support my husband, and then we started having kids a couple years later, and then it's like, well, then I'm in mom mode, so I didn't feel like I was going to go back to school because like I was just a mom, but then got the idea that I needed to go back to nursing school, and I was very hesitant to do that because I was a music major out of high school. I shied away from math and the health sciences, and now I'm diving back into health sciences. Like they're not easy, but it felt like the right thing to do. And so I started off with the prerequisites back in 2014. I was pregnant with my third at the time. I started school when I was pregnant, and I finished the first semester of two classes like a week before I had delivered. I delivered. So,
Wow.
and then I pressed on and started summer semester like 2 weeks later. It's an online class. So, I mean, there's been a lot in my growth with going through nursing school with kids, then trying to find a good nursing job fit because there were a lot of ones that just weren't good from what I could handle with my stress, like my poor stress tolerance with some of this autoimmune disease stuff. Um, but I finally found it where I'm at right now, and it's a very good nurse to patient ratio. And I don't work nights, I don't work weekends, I don't work long, long hours, and I still get to earn, earn a little bit of money and keep my license active. And but like I said, the lowest point had to have been when I didn't know what was going on, and I was trying to get through school, and I was trying to find a good job. I was trying to get my bachelor degree started, and it was just not knowing what was going on and trying one thing after another and another without seeing any kind of result or any like noticeable, like I'm not really feeling that better, but like I don't really want to spend my life living like this the rest of my life. So finally getting that diagnosis of okay, it's autoimmune disease, and yeah, you need your thyroid taken out. Oh, and yeah, you've got thyroid cancer, and kind of put some of that to ease, but the pesky symptoms still continued after. So I'm still just right now it's just like kind of learning to deal with it and live with it as best I can. And my foods options are kind of small now because they're just like trigger foods that just give me terrible brain fog and make me irritable. So I mean that's really common with Hashimoto's is that there's a lot of foods that just aren't tolerable for those people with it. So that's what I'm doing right now, and I learned how to just accept that this was happening to me and that I could either sit and whine and complain about it, or I could just try to learn to live with it, or I could try to find a way to make it better. So, and when I got the idea to write my book, when my husband dragged me to a mastermind event in Cancun called Mastermind in Paradise, we were part of Russell Brunson's 2CCX coaching program, or at least he was, and I was just kind of tagging along for the ride. And this was about 2.5 years ago. This was right after my thyroidectomy, and I was just learning how to live without a thyroid and be on replacement hormone. And when I heard Russell Brunson and some other speakers talk about their journey, I felt like I can do something, but I don't know what. Like a lot of entrepreneurs say, okay, you've got a message that only you can share. You've got an audience that needs your message. So I'm like, okay, well, what can I do? I toyed with a whole bunch of different ideas like self-care for nurses, like because I am a nurse, but like that didn't feel right. And I finally settled on the idea like, well, I've been through a long kind of almost like 8+ years of dealing with health issues. Like, what have I learned through this? So I started writing down ideas like, I think I can write a book. And I talked to my friend who wrote my foreword. His name is Eric Sorensen. I said, I think I want to write a book. And he said, okay, well, if you're going to write a book, you're going to need this and this and this, but you're not going to want to write a book, but you're going to need to do it anyway, that kind of stuff. It's like all the resistance that you get when you finally decide you're going to write a book. And a guy named, I think it's Stephen Pressfield, who wrote The War of, was it The War of Art? I think. I'm trying to remember if that's the right book. He said the hardest part about writing is not is actually sitting down to write the book.
Right.
So from start to finish, it was about 14 months from when I really started writing to when I got it published. Maybe 15 months, about that. So I just knew I had to get it done. I just had to dial in and just my husband helped me create them, find the time to write it and get it published. And yeah, that's where I'm at right now. And so I'm just working on getting my message out to the world and trying to maybe turn it into a coaching program at some point because I feel like it's worthy of that. So yeah, that's kind of my long story. I talk more about it in my book.
Okay.
You can really get to know me much better through it than what I can right here. But that's where I'm at right now with it.
That's Courtney, that's an amazing journey, and it's not easy to get published. I mean, it's not easy to write a book, let alone get published. So that's
Well, thankfully, I just used KDP
okay.
Amazon just for the sake that it's easy and it's free and they can print on demand.
I see.
So, but yeah, it's not easy to like do the book cover and editing and
Yeah, there's a lot
but
to
we
it.
figured it out. We made it work. We found resources and it's live for everyone. It's on Amazon right now, and so it's really exciting to finally get it out there and to tell people about it. And so yeah,
Yeah, so what is the message in the book? What's a switch? How did you switch from, being in that place of, you know, sadness and not knowing where to go or what to do next, and then you had the idea to write a book from, Russell Brunson, but what was the aha moment?
I don't know if there was one aha moment. It was just that I felt that call that I needed to do something.
Okay.
And I've often found that it's the ones who have been through like the most pain that maybe have like the best message to share. Because my book is about how to look at your trials as opportunities for learning, for growth, to find meaning in suffering, and to learn how to find the joy in the darkness, so to speak. I knew that I just had to keep going no matter what. I talk about just what's the next right thing that you can do in your situation? What's what hope can you find in your situation? What light can you find? There's a lot of mindset shifts I talk about and how to maybe give yourself grace on a difficult day or how to simplify things because we're the ones who overcomplicate it up in here, right? With the busy racing thoughts. I'm very much guilty of that. And that's something I've struggled with. And so I've learned how to recognize when my brain is trying to solve a problem, like when those racing thoughts occur, and to recognize that, okay, my I'm just trying to find a solution here. Well, what's the practical thing to do, right? Because emotions can get the best of us. Like
Mm,
a thought can create an emotion can create a thought. It's kind of a vicious cycle that just keeps feeding off itself.
right.
And so being able to, when I learned how to recognize the thoughts as they were and just to kind of let them pass if they weren't serving me, I was able to get better control of my day. There's still the days that the symptoms are bad and pesky, but I'm still willing to try a new medication here or a different kind of treatment because I still believe that there's a way to feel optimal and better. Maybe I just haven't found it yet. So I persevere knowing that I still have a greater purpose on this earth and that I can do something even when I don't feel great. I can still do something. I can still do this or reach out to this person or make this social media post or take care of my kids. Or, I still get up and go to my job, even though sometimes I don't love it. I still go serve those very vulnerable pediatric patients. And, those kids have taught me quite a bit, even though most of them are all nonverbal. I feel like they've taught me more not being able to speak or even look at me, some of them, because their disabilities are so bad. But I feel like I've learned so much from them just being around them and seeing how hard it is for them. But they still have personalities. They still can feel, even if they're so really severely disabled. So, and that's really taught me how to look at life as just a gift, as a blessing. That even if you think you have it so bad, you don't have to look far to see that someone else has it worse. Like, would you take on someone else's trials? Probably not. Like, I'll keep mine very, very, thank you very much, just because ours, our circumstances, our trials are meant for us and what we can handle, not theirs. Same with theirs. Their trials are for them and they're meant for us. I talk about how we're meant to be refined like silver or like diamonds. It's called my diamond within because diamonds are formed under very intense heat and pressure, but it's the hardest natural substance on earth. And we are being refined through the pressure, through the heat, through the darkness. And it's for our good and it's to help us be more kind and caring, compassionate, to love, to look at life as I get to live this every single day. I only get today, right? We're only promised today. It's to seize every opportunity and not be, afraid of whoever's going to think this or that of you. It's to look at life as the greatest gift and blessing that you could ever have. And that's what I want to share with the world. And that's what I'm trying to embody each and every day, even though it's challenging and I have my roller coaster. I still find a way to keep moving and to just do whatever I'm able to do and to not beat myself up about it.
Oh, wow. And what have you noticed that's changed in your life since you've had this new kind of outlook?
I'm able to take the roller coaster, so to speak, or whatever beating that I get from just the pesky symptoms a little bit easier. When I didn't know what was happening, I would say things like, God, just take this away from me. Just take it away. You could snap your fingers and you could take it away from me. That's my beliefs. Like, but I've just learned to suffer with more grace. Does that make sense? I don't complain as much or at all. I just realize that this is still happening to me and I just have to deal with it patiently and calmly as best I can. And even when those thoughts do, if they do come, I just don't pay attention to them. But lately, they just don't come at all. That's that's really how I've been able to deal with these challenges. And I try to look for whatever positive side I can in the darkness, even if I feel like crap. And a lot of times it's like terrible, terrible brain fog, and I just can't think, and it's just so bad. And I just try to focus on what's the next thing I got to get done. What do I got to do? Just keep going, keep moving. So, like I remember, like I said, I used to just wonder and complain and just wish that I could just be gone and I could just wake up feeling great one day, but it just doesn't work like that.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. So I just learned to just say, okay, I'm just going to do the best I can for what I can do on this day.
Okay. And if somebody else in a similar situation as you talk to you, what advice would you give them?
I would say be kind to yourself. I think we hold ourselves to really high standards sometimes. Maybe some people not, but if you do hold yourselves to high standards like I do, just do what you can, even if it's just if you're a mom and you just have to go get a few things done at home, or if, what's like the most important thing you can get done in your job or your work. Just keep showing up. keep showing up the best you can and be kind to yourself because you're going to have good days and you're going to where you can show up even really good. You're going to have bad days where you don't show up quite as good. You just give it your best and promise that God takes over the rest, or the universe, or whatever, resonates with you helps with the rest.
That's beautiful. Thank you for sharing that.
You're
Is
welcome.
there anything that you didn't get to share that you'd like to talk about?
Just that there is joy to be found in the darkest moments. I talk about in my book how it's in the simplest things. It could be in just your environment outside, it could be just counting your blessings around you, just remembering what you still can do. Can you still breathe? Can you still walk? Can you still see? Be grateful for the basic, smallest, dumbest little things when it gets really hard. That's where the joy is. Joy is in the little things, the little precious moments of like with a loved one or a child or a friendly conversation. Joy is in everything if you know where to find it. And if you choose to look for it, you will find it. If you look for the darkness, you'll find it. If you look for the light, you find it. Just look for the joy, and I promise you will find it on those most difficult days. It
Yeah,
is possible.
that's really good advice. I really appreciate that. Thank you
You're
for
welcome.
sharing and thank you for doing this.
Thank you so
It's been
much.
Yeah, it's been amazing. And we're gonna have you leave your links here in the comments so people can find your book and find you. However, how do you want people to find you or contact you?
I am, let's see, I think this is my Instagram right there.
Okay, we'll have you put it in the comments in Facebook after this.
Okay, I'll do that for sure.
Okay, cool.
Okay, thank you,
Great.
Derek.
Thanks.
Yeah, I'll give you my comments and then I will.
Yeah, we're still live, but I just wanted to thank you and thank everybody for watching. And if you like what we're doing here in Nourish, Heal, and Thrive, then you can comment interview and we'll spotlight you, share your gifts, and help you give you the support you need if you need that too. So thank you, Courtney, and thanks
Thanks so much,
everybody.
Derek.
We'll see everybody later.